What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to another video. And today I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the indicators that I use, these indicators that I use on a daily basis to generate me thousands of dollars. And so, yeah, let's get right into it. I don't want to keep this video too long. I want to get straight to the point. So, yes, first of all, the first indicator that I have here, just the FX watermark. This is nothing. This literally is just this right here. I turn it on and off. Just something to see as I'm on the chart, something to remind myself: patience, observe, discipline, react. Just all positive, I guess, affirmations that you need in the market that I like to have up there. So that is the first indicator that I have turned on. The second one, ICT kills all and pivots. Now this is going to be probably my main one that I use on a daily basis. And what this indicator basically does is it just highlights every single market high and low. Now this just makes it a lot easier for me to identify Asia high and low, London high and low, previous sessions, potential draw on liquidities. That is exactly what all of these are. Every high and low is a draw on liquidity. If you know specifically Asia and London play major roles, they do have very high magnets in price for their highs and lows, which is essentially what a drawn liquidity is, just a magnet for price. And they are very strong. London high, London low, Asia high, Asia low. And I also use this for standard deviation levels. Asia dealing range, if you know, is usually also another potential strong draw on liquidity when you mark out standard deviation from Asia dealing range, and it can also be used as a reaction level for where price can be formed to bounce up. Like a form of support or resistance in a way when you use 2 to 2.5 Asia dealing range. And also, as you can see, the -4, which was respected perfectly once we got above all-time highs. So now, that's the first indicator that I use. One of my favorites. I've been using it probably for over a year now, I think. I've switched out a couple different types, but this has been the one I've liked the most, just session indicators that show you what session is what. This has been my favorite one. Very easy to turn on and off. I'll show you my settings for it. I don't think I have really anything touched, but if I do, here they are right here. Y'all can just screenshot that. Y'all can go through it and take that as you will. But yes, all the previous sessions, just to view my potential draws on liquidity, I can maybe gauge what the daily profile may be, especially when I'm looking at the London delivery area. I use all of that just to kind of gauge my draw on liquidity, where price can potentially reverse from, see how the previous sessions perform. And yeah, so those are that's probably like my main one that I use. Now, the second indicator, which I probably use the second most, would be the new week / the new day opening gaps by Crypto Night. Now, I will show you my settings for this as well before I break it down. Now, what this essentially is, if you do not know what the weekly and daily opening gaps are, they are essentially just the gaps in price when we get on a new day open and a new week open. And these prices, these gaps can be used basically as fair value gaps in a way, basically like trampolines for price, or you can potentially expect a rejection or reversal from. And as you can see here, I actually use this on my trade. If you guys watch my trade recap from Friday, I used this opening gap as a PD array when I took my long, which came right here. We tapped into the opening gap. I was using into the 2-minute. We had an S&T with the data low after we tapped into the opening gap, and I took this inversion right here. And y'all can also see how I paired it with using standard deviation, because this box is Asia's dealing range. Inversion, wherever the bias button is at, ball right there. And I wrote it up to all-time highs. And now I intended on leaving a runner to Asia dealing range. And as y'all can see, it did end up working out. I just wasn't able to capitalize fully because I accidentally reversed my position. I broke it all down in the trade recap though. But this was my intended draw on liquidity. Asia dealing range, we had all-time highs, which was like right here. I want to say like around this level was all-time highs. So I got out right there, but I did intend on leaving runners to Asia dealing range. And as y'all can see, that would have played out as well. So that's that. Asia dealing range plus standard deviation / new day / new week opening gap. Just potential PDRAs, potential areas where price can reject from. I think very important when you look at the weekly opening gap as well. As y'all can see, it marks it out. And as you can see, price tends to respect the new day and the new, really just every opening gap you can see that kind of uses support / resistance levels throughout price. And I use these a lot. As you can see here, low of week came from the weekly opening gap being respected. We got that inversion. Put in low of week, continue this buy model to the upside. That is that. Basically just marking out the important gaps in P arrays that aren't usually on paper to what we like to see, like fair value gaps, order blocks, breaker blocks, stuff like that. The opening gaps, very important. Rejection levels for price. You can potentially see us even manipulate through them and things like that. So that's why I like that. The next one I use is the ICT higher time frame candles by Fatty. Now, these I don't really use, I would say, as like too much of like entry indicators, I'll say, but they are good for confirmation to just give me an understanding on where the potential day might want to go, where price might want to go. Because as y'all know, I do like to trade intraday. I'm not a higher time frame swing trader. I don't like to hold positions for too long, but I use this to kind of gauge an idea. I'll say it like this: if every one of these candles are green, I obviously want to look for longs. And vice versa. If they're all red, we obviously want to look for shorts because these are all the higher time frames. And I'm usually focused on the 5 minute and the 15 minute usually. So these just give me an understanding on where price is gauging on the higher time frame without having to actually switch through cycles and cycle through charts. Usually it's pretty helpful when I'm already in a position. It can just give me more confirmation. Like if I'm already in a long and I see us starting to flip here, if I see a doji candle to the downside, like okay, we're probably gonna get a reversal. This just really provides extra confirmation, more peace of mind for me, which is why I use these. I cycle them on and off, usually when I'm in and out of trades, or if the market is choppy, I'll turn this on to see what the higher time frames are doing. I have the hourly, the 4 hour, the daily, and the weekly, as y'all can see right there. And that is that. Now, this is an indicator that I have not yet used. I was recommended it, so I'm gonna try it out. This is the equal highs and lows. Now, usually I'm just using these three right here. I just implemented this one literally just today. I was recommended it, so I'm gonna give it a shot. It basically just marks out every equal high and low within the market. So if you're gonna potentially take a long here, turn it on, you see equal lows resting beneath you. Obviously, you don't take that long, you can avoid a potential loss. And vice versa. If you want to take a short and you see we have potential equal highs above us, as y'all can see, we had this inversion right here, but that failed. We had equal highs, or whatever the case may be. Just gives you a good understanding on where potentially the draw on liquidity can be if you have equal highs that you have not marked out or maybe have just missed. And it can also help you avoid losses if you're potentially looking to take a trade and then you turn that on and you see all this equal lows right below where I went along at. I'm not going to take the long because that is a strong draw on liquidity. If you know, equal lows are also very strong magnets for price. Some of the strongest, I would say, aside from like data wicks and unfilled imbalances, equal lows are one of my favorites to targets. Equal highs and lows specifically when price put when price prints equal highs or equal lows, these are usually very strong magnets for price. And as you can see, they usually are taken out pretty fast. So yeah, these are the three that I always use. This one I'm just implementing now. I haven't really touched the settings at all, but just implementing this one just to see if it can potentially help out as well. I don't use any entry-based indicators or no alerts or signals or anything like that. I would not advise you do so as well. It'll only mess up your trading. So those are the main three that I actually use. This one I'm about to test out and just see how I like, see if I find it useful, and if I do, then I'm gonna keep it. But those are my main indicators though. I use those on a daily basis, and so far I'm not even gonna lie, I'm up 1.4K on this month. I have been on a very bad losing streak. Friday I did make back a lot of my losses, but so I'm not even gonna lie to y'all and say I made $20,000. I'm only at 1.4K, but it's still a blessing to be out of drawdown finally. So we definitely gonna hopefully continue and pick this up throughout the rest of the month. But yeah, I'm gonna keep y'all updated. I appreciate you for watching. I hope you can find value in this. If you have any questions, please let me know. Free Discord in the bio. And yeah, that is that. Finally out of this losing streak, so hopefully we can come next week and bring y'all some more winning trade recaps. But yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one though. I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace out.